A further reading. And no condemnation in Christ Jesus. We are on page 11. So give me 1 second here. Let the lawless tremble at its strength. Its divinity is not to be denied. Its holiness is not to be impugned. Its power is not to be trifled with. No man can do violence to this law with impunity. Deem it not a light thing to fall into its iron, merciless grasp. It lays its righteous hand upon you, exclaiming, "Pay me that you owe." And if the demand is not met, apply, fully met. It has authority and power to adjudge you to hell forever. Such is the strength of God's holy law. But nevertheless, there is a sense, and a vastly important one, in which the law is impotent, utterly powerless. What is that the law cannot do? The law has no power to place the sinner in a justified state. In other words, it cannot fulfill its own righteousness. By him all who believe are justified from all things from which you could not be justified by the law of Moses. Therefore, by the deeds of the law there shall no flesh be justified in his sight, nor has it power to give life. For if there had been a law giving which could have given life, verily righteousness should have been by the law. It pronounces the unjustified sinner dead, his religion dead, his work dead, his faith dead. With not one breath of spiritual life has it power to inspire the soul. Oh, the infatuation which prompts men to seek spiritual life from a law, powerful only as an instrument of eternal death. Nor has the law power to make anything whatever perfect in the great matter of man's salvation. For the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by which we draw near unto God. These things the law fails to achieve, and herein it is weak. Holy in its nature, it is yet incapable of making the sinner holy. Righteous in its precepts, it yet cannot justify the ungodly, reflecting the divine image. It yet has no power to transfer that image to the soul. Let us trace this failure to its proper cause. And where then does this weakness of the law of God come from? We reply, not from an inherent defect in the law. The law is holy, just, and good, and of itself powerful enough to take the soul to glory. But the apostle supplies the answer: weak through the flesh. It was right that he should thus shield the dignity of the law and maintain that there belonged to it a native force and capacity worthy of him from whom it emanated, and equal to the accomplishment of the great end for which it was enacted. The weakness of the law, then, is to be traced, not to any inefficiency of the instrument, but to the sinfulness of man, not to the agent, but to the subject. What an impressive view does this give us of the deep depravity, the utter sinfulness of our nature. So great is the corruption of the flesh that it opposes and thwarts the law in its great work of imprinting its image upon the mind of man. Oh, what must be the character and power of that sinfulness, which can thus sever the locks of its strength, and divert it from its sacred purpose? Sincerely would it make us holy, but our depravity foils it. Sincerely would it recall our alienated affection, but our heart is so utterly estranged from God that its generous efforts fail. Thus the law is weak, through the corrupt and sinful flesh. Let us be deeply humbled by this truth, how entirely it stains the pride of all our fleshly glory. Where now is our native holiness, and our boasted pride, and our vaunted worthiness? The law, always on the side of purity and love, yearned to bring us beneath its holy and benign influence. But our carnality interposed, and it became weak, God sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh. Thus has God graciously provided a remedy which exactly meets the necessity of the case. The law, thwarted and impaired by the depravity of the flesh, having failed to effect the salvation of the sinner, proving itself utterly powerless to justify or sanctify the soul, God is represented as devising another, a more stupendous and effective expedient. This was nothing less than placing the work in the hands of his own Son.